Does anyone here have daddy issues? Well, you'll probably like this poem then. Dear Father, I wrote you this letter that you'll probably never see, not because I'm afraid to tell you these things, but because I don't see the point. Because despite my belief in the power of reason and the power of language, there are simply not any words I can say to you that will make you a better person. So I'll just let these words out into the ether instead, and maybe a passing bird will snag one or two and use it to build a nest where its children will know the love you were incapable of showing to me. I think when I was a child that you thought you were teaching me to be strong. In the end, you did, but not in the way you thought. But you did because you freely demonstrated for me what weakness looks like. How would you feel if I told you that every single thing I'm proud of and every single thing I love about myself and every single thing that binds me to the people I care about, every single thing that makes me who I am, I accomplished by always doing the opposite of what you would do? Would you feel anything at all? A spark of shame, a shadow of regret, that we can never have any kind of a real relationship? Probably not, because you're so fucking terrified of looking inside and seeing the shriveled vestigial thing where your heart would be if you hadn't locked your mind into a prison of bitterness and ignorance. Every time I feel proud of myself for being strong as a person, or growing as a person, or being there for my friends, or choosing to believe in myself and my art in spite of the odds, I can't help but think that you would disapprove. And it used to be that that would make me feel self-doubt or feel a confusing sense of shame and self-judgment. Even now, writing these words, I can feel the ghost of your scorn. But now, after so long, I know that whenever I do something you would not approve of, like make art, or be emotionally open with my friends, or when I put on a skirt, the knowledge that you would disapprove should fill me with pride, because it means I'm not a small-minded, petty, bitter, ignorant human being like you, and I've left behind every part of me that came from you. Side note, except my freckles, I'll keep those. There's a large part of me that wants to hate you, and it's not because but it's because I'm not like you that I simply can't do that. And it's not even out of a sense of love. It's because, unlike you, I don't think compassion is a weakness, and the only thing I feel for you is pity. Because you deserve to have the chance to be a better person, and I weep that you will never escape the prison that you've built for yourself, with walls of self-judgment, conformity, negativity, toxicity, and bitterness and self-loathing. You said you always wanted a son, even though you had 3 beautiful daughters before me. And that's the saddest thing of all, because I wonder if deep down inside you just wanted some company in your self-imposed prison of masculinity. Other than that, I have no idea why you would have wanted a son, another version of you, I suppose. But that's so strange, because you seem to hate everything about yourself, and you take no joy in anything except negativity and ignorance and judgment. The concept of self-love and self-care and exploring your feelings are alien to you. Everything that gives someone an identity other than being a utilitarian, blunt instrument, a worker robot, a cog in the machine of capitalism, or a rotten, miserable bastard who only knows how to complain. Anything outside of those bounds is foreign to you. Art, literature, philosophy, science, emotion, they're weak, stupid, sissy, pointless, woke bullshit, according to you. But those are all the things I love the most, and those are all the things that make us human. So when you wanted a son, what is it you wanted to pass on to me? To teach me to be a man? What does that even mean? Your version of being a man is to be riddled with weakness and insecurity, and although you can't admit it, to live in constant fear that someone somewhere would think less of you for being anything other than an arbitrary, non-existent ideal of masculinity. You taught me that men do not care what others think. You encouraged me to think for myself. And then, rather confusingly, you taught me that men shouldn't have long hair and shouldn't dress a certain way and shouldn't have feelings, and men don't read books. And even though I never agreed with you, and even though as a child I saw right through your hypocrisy and I always had long hair and feelings and books, it took me a while to recognize the scars you had left on my heart nonetheless, so that I could eventually let go of all of the shame and self-judgment I'd been carrying around and be who I've always wanted to be. When I was born, you gave me your name, Peter, which you received from your father and his father before him, because you wanted me to be like you. And yet the only thing you ever taught me is that I don't want to be like you. And every effort of my whole life has been trying to get away from the part of me that ended up like you. So you can have your name back, because that part of me is dead now. Peter's gone. My name is Salem.